Hey everyone, this is Tonia Haddix,
And this is Amber Renee.
and you're listening to the Chimp Crazy Lady Show. Are we ready?
Yes.
So basically, I wanted to do this for this Monday because I think it's a hot topic right now. So we're kind of changing things up. And the one we did earlier, we can use just anytime you want to, that type thing.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
basically, everybody's announced that a laboratory has let 40 plus monkeys escape because there's been conflicting numbers. I've heard 40, then I've seen 43, so I'm not sure exactly how many, but it looks like anything from a macaque to a capuchin has escaped from their laboratory. So they've set traps to try to capture them, and they will shoot them. So it really upset me, first of all, because it just made me relive the fact that all these primates are being used as experiments, and that these poor little guys have no quality of life. So, like, for private owners, we're like, we hope they never get caught. We hope they just run, 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 because where they're going back to, or their life will end with being shot by the police or by, somebody like that. The authorities, I think it's sad either way you go. But anyways, it just brought up another point and another sore spot that I have with PETA, because here PETA is trying to take animals away from people that don't deserve it. And the animals certainly don't deserve it. But then here we have these big research laboratories that are still practicing on these animals, and these primates that are so close to us humans, and they're not using their funds to try to stop that, and they're not really doing anything, because we know with PETA, if they put their mind to something, they do it. So obviously they're not really putting their funds and their resources and their mind to stopping all of this craziness with these primates.
Yes. So my thought was, it's very interesting that they use all this money, all these lawyers, and all these resources to stop people that are actually taking care of primates, having them in a home environment, loving them, treating them as they should be treated. And yet here we have a research laboratory that has, I'm sure that's not all the primates that they have, let's be honest.
Oh
And
no,
they're not even, and 40 plus monkeys have escaped. And why are they not putting their resources to protect monkeys from, I'm sure that their living conditions were not great and they were not being loved and treated well. That's really sickening. If PETA cared about the animals, they would definitely be stopping that versus spending millions of dollars to stop you from taking care of your pets.
I know, right? Doesn't that kind of feel gross? I mean, think about that. It just flags out to everybody if they only know the story, and that's why us doing these podcasts are so important, because we want to get that story out, not just this story, but any others that is gross. And it's sad that they don't do anything about it, and they don't. I mean, for real.
They should be all over this. They should have been all over this before the monkeys even escaped. Like,
Yes.
this should not be going on. This should be top priority, preventing primates from being tested on and living in those conditions. That should be top priority if they care about animals. Not rescuing or taking away primates from pet owners that are actually taking care of them.
I certainly agree. And, this is not the first incident that laboratories has had issues this year. There was an incident back in Ohio where they were transporting some, and the truck, there was an accident with the truck, and a lot of them escaped out of that truck. And, you know, not only is it putting humans at risk because God only knows what they've experimented with and what those poor primates have now, and you've got to realize, and primates are probably mean because they're mad because of what humans have done to them. So they're putting, John Q. Public at risk by any of that stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the actual abuse of the primates living in the kind of lifestyle, all the humans that they come into contact with are also at risk. And other animals too.
Yes, I'm just like really disgusted today, and I was like, you know what? I just really, really wanted us to get on and talk about it. And I mean, not. I just think that there needs to be some petitions. People need to, send things into PETA and just say, hey, what the heck? Why are you guys doing these things? And see, the more we make them aware of what PETA is doing, the better off we are, because I hope that it will grab the right person and we can actually get rid of their donation so that PETA can be shut down, because that is the only way that PETA is ever going to be shut down, because of their vast treasure chests that they have, and they collect. Is to take away their not-for-profit status, and to do that is by letting people be aware that is not aware of what PETA really represents, so that we can stop them from getting funds.
And it's all over the news right now, and so it also makes you wonder how many things are going on that aren't all over the news, like all the monkeys that are in research labs that haven't escaped that we don't even know about.
Yes, I think a few here and there all the time, but it's just a small number so they can get by with it. But this is kind of like something they should report. Then USDA needs to be out there ASAP. A little miss, our friend, yes, episode that they had yesterday at school. I don't know if we want to mention names, but the fact of it is I'm a little upset again about how,
Oh,
just because of the presidential election and somebody feels one way about an opponent, whether it be Republican or Democrat, I'm sad to know that they can't even go to school and have the right to freely express who they want to vote for, even though they're not young enough, or they're not old enough to vote, but that who they actually represent, without some girls being ugly and mean. I mean, it's really
well,
sad.
yeah. Well, one of the things about that was one of the students in the class said that their parents voted for Trump. And so a lot of the students were upset and attacking them. These kids aren't old enough to vote, obviously. They don't even really know what their parents are voting for, but they're taking some hatred that's been fed to them and they're putting it towards other kids. And I understand, like, we want kids to be able to, like, release their emotions and, like, vent things out. But the thing that these kids are concerned about isn't even, like, they weren't voting, so why are they attacking each other about voting? Like, it
Right.
doesn't.
And
I
again,
don't know.
that's,
It was just really unfortunate that they allowed kids to be alienated
well, because especially
like
when
that.
you're scared for your safety. I mean, when it becomes that, I mean, way out of proportion that these crazy girls are being, that speaks a lot to me. In fact, it really upset me too. So there was like two sides to things this week that I was like, we've definitely got to talk about these topics, because again, there's no need at all for any of those behaviors. We can agree to disagree. Politics is politics. We don't even know those two opponents. So my whole thing of it is it's one thing to have your beliefs, and we can stand on our beliefs. That's what the country's about, and freedom of
Mhm.
speech is what the country's about. But for somebody to be bashed or to fear for their safety because they do express, one oppositional opponent versus the other, whether it be Democrat or Republican. I mean, my views, but the fact of it is, I mean, I'm not going to go around bashing somebody that counsel my vote by voting for somebody else. I mean, like I told you, we have gotten to where we're just too opinionated, and we've allowed people to get by with behaviors that's not acceptable in public places, whether it be school districts or whether it be, at a restaurant, or whether it be whatever the public situation is. We need to get ourselves back into the old country to where we have to be respectful even if we don't agree.
Yes, I agree. I think this new culture online and everything has gotten too comfortable with attacking people that do not have the same opinions as you. I think we were talking about, even just like before, if you upload even just a video of your cat, like half the comments are going to be attacking you for doing some specific thing that they believe that you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And to take it as far as like politics and religion, like everybody's going to be different. And I understand that some people believe that their rights are at risk, but like you said, we don't even know either opponent. Like, you just know what you're being told. Like, you don't actually know what they're really even doing.
No. So it's okay to agree to disagree. We've gotten through how many elections throughout the United States since George Washington became president, that we have the right for freedom to be able to vote. And I was really happy, to be honest with you, that I seen cultures that normally don't vote get out there and vote, and they actually made a difference. So I'm hoping this year's election has turned people around and made them realize how voting does count, even if it's with a certain sect of people.
Yeah, I agree. People need to feel free to express their opinions in a way that's not attacking others or threatening others. It's unfortunate that people have gotten so comfortable in, hey, if you disagree with me, then you deserve to die, almost. Like, it's so dramatic and horrible.
It is. Another couple things. It's funny, whenever I get on here, I can think of topics. It's funny because I had a surprise USDA inspection, and I had a friend that said, "Oh, well, somebody told me," and we argued for like hours, that you had already lost your license. And I'm like, "Well, if so, you need to tell USDA that, because they came out and did a surprise inspection, which I was deficiency free." But anyways, he came out, and always a very
Yay.
educated person. But he's always willing to, be fair. But anyways, so long story short, I, did my routine stuff. We went through the inspection, and he's like, "Well, you know why I'm here, right?" And I said, "Nope, you tell me." And he said,
What?
He said, "You had two complaints." And I said, "Two complaints? So what are they?" He said, "Well, we've already established both of them were not substantiated. One of them was about my sloth girl, Sid.
Oh.
They had said, because they had
Mhm.
seen a video of Sydney eating cake, that I was putting that sloth at jeopardy. But he had already did his research and seen that I really didn't feed her the cake, that it was just a prop. It was just a fun party, no big deal.
Mm.
Plus, when he walked into the encounter room, he could see the sloth. And like you said, that's the healthiest sloth I've seen in a while. And I just cackled, because I said, "Yeah, they had told me it wouldn't even live 30 days. And here it's been like 4 months, and she's kicking." So, just because people are haters, they try to do bad things to people and waste the government's time and money, which anybody that knows the USDA knows that they're already shorthanded. So for them to waste their time on non-valid complaints, it's really pitiful, just to get back at you.
That reminds me of the kind of people that call like CPS on other people just because they don't like them.
Right.
It's
And the
just
other one,
sickening.
Yeah, and the other incident was where I had went to Wonderland Camp, which is this camp for children anywhere from 7 to 70 that has mental or physical handicaps, and I volunteered to bring some animals out there to educate on a stage, and then they got to come up afterwards and just pet them. But
Mhm.
there was a picture of me, which I think I've posted that picture, but it's a picture of me with the sloth on my hip and then the kangaroo and the other arm, and they were saying that I didn't have control,
I've
that
seen that picture.
yeah, that handler didn't have control. And he laughed and he said, Tanya already reviewed it, and he said, I already know you had control because obviously you had your hand on Sydney's head, and the kangaroo is the kangaroo. And I said, Absolutely. But anyways, it's just silly things like that that really goes to iterate how much the country's just gone to keyboard warriors. I'm going to get a FOIA, which is a Freedom of Information Act, to find out who actually made that complaint, and I'm going to post it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was some haters online, the same kind of people that scour Reddit and just come up with things to be pissed about.
Yeah, I'm sure, but like I said, I'm gonna post it so they can become pretty famous for doing something stupid. Because, like I said, it was just ridiculous. I don't care, but it's just a waste of my time, their time, and we have animals to take care of, and it's just ridiculous that people do that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're constantly all day until from when you get up till the evening taking care of all of your animals. You don't have time to host all these concerns by random people that have no idea what's going on.
Exactly. And again, I always implore anybody that has questions or concerns about the animal welfare to come out and visit and see for themselves before they just take somebody else's word, or especially some hateful person's word. Come see them and then make your decision. Again, we're open to the public, so it's not like we hide behind gates or locked doors or anything like that. We are open and people can come see them, see how well they're cared for, and know that, we're not going to hurt any animal, period. End of story.
Yeah, that's incredibly upsetting because you do allow people to just come and see the animals. I've even been in your house and seen your personal animals. I know that you take care of your animals. They're well taken care of. It's really ridiculous that people just come up with things to, again, it's just people coming up with things to be negative about because they don't have anything going on like for themselves and they're
Right.
just miserable.
Agreed. Agreed. Do you have anything that you can come up with, or that you've seen? Because I'll tell you another thing that I'm really sad about is how Hollywood's got a lot of the negative things going on with Hollywood and how it's going to unfold. It's really sad to me.
What are you referring to specifically, like the Diddy things?
Yeah, like the Diddy thing.
Mhm.
I just it's rampant. It's huge, and I just hate to see what's to come with all of that going on, and who's going to be indicted, who's going to be, you know, their lives are ruined because of that stuff.
Yes, so yeah, I agree. There's a lot of darkness going on in Hollywood that we don't even know about. And then every time, someone is brought to light, they're implicating a ton of other people that have been involved in it. And it's what's really concerning to me. It's like I was talking about the Quiet on the Set documentary about Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
How long have they allowed these children to be abused and like people to be treated in this manner and like manipulated and their lives destroyed, where I don't know, all the people in control just like seem to have swept it under the rug until it was too huge to ignore.
I know, isn't that sad? And how many kids, like you said, are thrown to the wolves just for fame and fortune. And I mean, people are writing songs about it, all of that. There needs to be a lot of prayers for all of those people involved. I mean, really.
Yeah, and then but again, the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, like I don't even feel like that all that stuff ever came out. I feel like they just like avoided talking about all the people that were involved. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I'm hopeless that they'll even, you know, release the information and those people will actually be in trouble for what they did. Like,
I
because
know.
if it's like high up people involved, politicians and such, like, it seems like they try to hide that stuff.
I know. And it's really sad to me. It really, really is. But I mean, just like all the bullying on, social media, it's okay to be on social media. It's okay to express your opinion, but not to tear down somebody. And especially because how, I think about like Robin Williams, how he was dark and everybody didn't even realize it, and how he lost his life due to him being in Great Depression. How many people do we encounter or don't encounter, but maybe talk about them like on social media, that it absolutely sends them over the edge?
Yeah, especially celebrities or people in the public light. So many, I mean, you've found out so many people just say horrible things about you that don't even know you, and they don't even care how it affects you. They all almost don't even see you as a person.
I
And
know.
I mean, people like Robin Williams and all kinds of celebrities that have ended their lives, like, you get so isolated to where you don't even want to leave the house, and like all you can see are all these horrible things.
I know. I
And
know.
the people saying this, like, what are they getting out of that? Like, why be so ugly and dark?
I think misery loves company a lot of the times, and people feel more deemed to be able to do things like that. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I know. It's really sickening.
But I think
Mates,
there's so
and
many
whenever
things
I
this
see
week
things
that
like
I
that,
was
I'm
like, you
thinking,
know what, we
well,
need to
thank
do
goodness it's warm
just
where they're
this
at, and that they're
podcast for
not
this week.
freezing, and all
Because
kinds of
my
crazy
heart's
things
always
run
with
through
the
my
pride,
head.
and I hope that they can find food, and I hope that none of them approach people or people don't approach them so that they lose their life. And I hope they do life trap them. But there again, when they do life trap them, if they have to go back into that horrible environment, then I feel sorry for them. So it's kind of like there's no winning situation there, and I just feel horrible.
Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We will be releasing new episodes every week on Monday. You can also check out Tonia on Cameo, and you can buy our merchandise at chimpcrazylady.com or on Etsy, with more places coming soon. Thank you.